All right, so let's start here. We have number one. We're going to put, I've given you some information. We're going to fill out the rest of the boxes here. So if you look at number one, we already have the slope, which is 4. So you're going to take our equation, y minus y1 equals mx minus x1. And they give you m, so we'll plug that in here to 4, right? They give us x1, which is 3. They give us the point. So that would be x minus 3. And they also give us y1, which is negative 1. Now remember, when I plug a negative into there, it's actually going to make it positive, okay? So y plus 3 equals 4x parentheses minus 3. Now, let's get that in the slope-intercept form. Now remember, all we're going to do is distribute, right? So let's go ahead and continue from here. We'll have 4 times x, so we have y plus 3 equals 4x minus 12. All right, and then we want to get y by itself, so we're going to subtract 3 from both sides, right? So we're going to end up with y equals 4x. Negative 12 and negative 3 would be negative 15. So here we have slope-intercept form. Now to get slope-intercept into standard, right? So here's my slope-intercept. I want to get it into standard, so I'm going to move this over to the other side. So it's basically going to be negative 4x, right? Plus y equals negative 15. And if you recall, with standard form, your first term can't be negative. So to get rid of that, I'm going to multiply everything by negative 1, which will give me 4x minus y plus 15. Okay. All right, let's look at number 2. So number 2 wants the slope. Well, that's pretty easy. We know m is going to be a half, right? And now the ordered pair, well, that's y1, x1. Notice they're both negative, which means that these points had to be positive because they didn't affect the sign and change it to a positive. So x1 was 8, and then y1 was 5, okay? All right, now let's go ahead and take a look at number 2. We're going to take the point slope, right? And we're going to change it into our favorite form, or my favorite form, slope-intercept form. Okay. So you follow order of operation. I'm going to distribute the half, right? So I have y minus 5 equals half x, right? Half of negative 8 is negative 4. almost done. I gotta add 5 to both sides to get y by itself, right? Okay, so y equals 1/2 x. Negative 4 plus 5 is this a positive 1? Okay, so now there is my slope-intercept form. All right, now to go to standard form, remember we don't want any fractions. So the first thing that I do is I get rid of the fractions. So to get rid of a half, or just a fraction part of it, is I'm going to just multiply everything by 2, right? So that would give me a 2 times y would be 2y. 2 times a half, okay, this is why I'm doing it. The halves cancel out, so I'll just have x. And don't forget 2 times 1 would be 2. All right, with standard form, I need to get the x's and the y's over, so I'm going to subtract y. So that's going to be a negative, I'm going to subtract x. So that'll be a negative x, positive 2y equals 2. Remember, the last thing about standard is that the first term can't be negative. So that means I'm going to multiply everything by negative, or negative 1 if you want to think about it. So negative times negative is positive x. Negative 1 times positive 2y is negative 2y. And then negative 1 and 2 is negative 2. And I have it in my standard form. No fractions. Leading coefficient is not negative. Okay? And then I'm done. So what we're going to do, guys, is after this, I'm going to have some delta math for you to do. And I'm also going to have a quiz that is going to be in this learning path that you're going to have due by Friday. Okay, and I'll have all that in the directions for you. All right.